Hey everyone, Hobo4Craft, aka Mr. Hobo here, going to be bringing you the video I am submitting for Husky's Community Challenge, which is a Protoss versus Zerg game. And if you don't know, Husky's Community Challenge is a contest, but not really a contest. It's just for more community site content. And this is going to be mTwNightend versus LiquidHayPro, and LiquidHayPro is a very good Zerg, and you can tell just by the tag Liquid, which TLO is also in, other very good players, and mTW is also a very well-known clan tag like Damaga, those kind of players, and Niden actually did play in the StarCraft 2 Cup Finals against Mers or Mares. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. I'm pretty sure, so yeah, he's definitely going to be a good Protoss. I have not casted a game of him yet, but this is going to be interesting. It is on Lost Temple, don't know if I said that already, and we're going to have HeyPro scout adjacent of him, and he's going to know that he's not here right away, so that's a nice tip. Nice to scout with your Overlord right away. Looks like he did go for that extractor trick. He is 11/10. But on this map, it's really nice to have this really long distance because you can expand quickly and easily, and you don't have to worry as much as about two-gate pushes. I mean, granted, it's still very likely that the Protoss is going to two-gate push, and we could very well see nice positioning there. We're not going to see any kind of fast expanding type of build because he could try and block this off with a gateway and a forge and stuff like that, but he's going to be playing pretty conservatively. He is chrono boosting out some probes, so he couldn't be committing too hard to a two-gate if he did. He still has room to put down one more, or he could just be getting a cyber core later on. But it looks like we had a 14 extractor and a 13 pool from HeyPro, and now he's going to be saturating this gas, and that is a nice timing because right around when the spawning pool goes up, he will have just about 100 gas to get that metabolic boost. And Nidon being really annoying with this probe, it's going to delay HeyPro getting out that expansion. Yeah, and we don't see a second gateway go down, so it's just going to be a pretty standard cyber core. Probably going to go down here. Yeah, it is going to be a cyber core, so we're going to get one zealot being pumped out to block this ramp. Always, always key when playing Zerg because you don't want those Zerglings running around in your base. But I think I'm lagging a little bit. My FPS is dropping a bit, so sorry about that. Ooh. Niden says lags at the same time, so that might have something to do with it. And he's a little PO'd. He made a PO'd face. Okay. But I don't think... Actually, HeyPro hasn't even scouted him yet, but right now he's going to see that the Cyber Core is going down. I myself like to scout... Ooh, we had a little bit of annoyance going on here. Now the Zerglings will get this... probe out of the way, but like I was saying, I like to go for a 10 scout, which is kind of early, but that way I know what position my opponent is in, and I can also know if I can fast expand and react. If he's going a 2-gate, I'm definitely not going for that 15 hatchery. But oh, he's leaving this door wide open, and these Zerglings are going to get him because he was distracted by this distractor. So that could be bad news. Oh, and he cancels it the last second and then rebuilds it. He's going to be very low on gas, which is terrible when you're going this cyber core build because it's very gas heavy when he's going to throw down all those other gateways and research that warp gate technology. He's throwing down one right now, and it looks like more Zerglings are going to be in the way, and this pressure is going to allow HeyPro to expo up. So that's a really nice play right there. He also gets to see everything that's going on here. You can see if there's any sort of cheese like a fast Stargate. Oh, which is so annoying, especially when you have to deal with that Void Ray. So if I were HeyPro in this situation, I'd be feeling really good. He still has to deal with this extractor, and that's for every second this extractor is up and not an assimilator for Nidon, he's just losing so much gas. And now metabolic boost is finished, and these Zergs are going to stay in the base for even longer because they're so much faster with that metabolic boost. And yeah, oh my gosh, HeyPro is just having it in easy street right now. Just macroing up, and he's seeing all these gateways go down. It's going to be a 4-gateway build, pretty standard, and just now about to destroy this extractor, doing a very good job of keeping all of these Zerglings in the base. He does take out one probe, so wow, he got a lot of scouting going on, and he also took out a probe and delayed the extractor a bunch. I would not be feeling very comfortable if I were Nidon in this position because, oh, and now he is putting down a Stargate right after these Zerglings were taken care of, so that's a nice timing right there. He, very aware player, but one reason it's so nice to delay Protoss this much is because in Protoss vs. Zerg, a lot of the games depend on that first early push, like we could be seeing here. Um, Especially because it's so common for the Zerg to fast expand. Um, if you can catch him in an off position where he's making drones instead of units, or it's just a really heavy push, then you can definitely get an upper hand in the game by applying that pressure. But it looks like Niden is going to respond to this expo by expoing himself because um, he definitely cannot take it down with this small force, which is because of how delayed all of his tech was, or not his tech, but his gas and all the scouting that went on. It allowed HayPro to delay a lot. So, oh, we're actually going to get a robotics facility. That could just be for an observer, but I'm thinking we might see a Colossi in the near future, or a Colossus. And wow, both of these bases are pretty heavily saturated, and we only have 2 queens. If I were HayPro, I do have the extra minerals, and I have these 3 spine crawlers up, feeling pretty good. Got these Zerglings running around, taking out this destructible rock so we can get the gold in the near future. I would be going for a couple, like 1 or 2 more queens, because that way I can defend against maybe a sneaky Void Ray or even phoenixes, which we are going to see Nidend go. And if your opponent can use these phoenixes well enough, it can be really annoying when your queens are just lifted up in the air and getting shot down. And I've been there a couple times before, and I've just figured out that, hey, if you have the extra resources anyway, definitely get that extra queen. You can use it on a lot of handy stuff like more creep tumors and transfusions, so always a good idea. But Nidon just now starting to really get this expansion saturated, and we are getting that robotics base, so that definitely means a Colossus, and that's going to be pretty bad news for HayPro because it does so much damage to Zerglings and Hydralisks, but he is going to scout this with the Overseer, and he could very well use Contaminate. But where are those Phoenixes? Oh, they have been in here being so annoying, and this is what I mean when your queens are lifted up, but it looks like, oh, he doesn't have a transfusion, and this queen could go down. Oh, but at the last second, that Phoenix does go down. Oh, and it's going to be a race to see who dies first, and it's going to be this queen. And that is so annoying because that's 150 gold lost. He was able to pick off one Phoenix, and there stays an Overlord, a little miss micro, keeping those Phoenixes not long enough. But yeah, like I said, little annoying to waste 150 gold because of a Phoenix harass, and yeah, and then you have to wait longer to spawn additional larvae with that inject larva. So, semi-successful harass. He did lose a Phoenix, but we're getting that extended Thermal Lance upgrade. Key upgrade in the game, especially when you're going Colossus. I mean, why would you go it if you weren't? But you guys know what I mean. And we are getting that first Colossus out. And we could see a timing push here from Nidend, though HayPro has just been macroing up, and as soon as he moves out, he will be able to pump out a ton of units. This Roachhorn is going up, which is definitely good against Zealots. Stalkers can outmaneuver them, but in mass, it's pretty hard to out-micro a bunch of Roaches, and we're going to get a couple stray Overlords picked off, which is definitely a plus when you go Phoenixes. Definitely very annoying for the Zerg to have to spend those larvae on those Overlords and getting supply blocked, and it can just mess you up sometimes. But using these creep tumors very well to connect all of his expansions, and he is in fact getting this gold, so he's definitely going to be head in economy, as we can see. They're about even right now, but when this expansion goes up, we will definitely see HayPro take the lead. And he's putting down another hatchery, so he's really going to be pumping out a lot of units. And he did, in fact, tech to mutas. We saw that Spire go down earlier. And he has, oh wow, how many mutas does he have? He has 12 mutas right now. And there are no photon cannons in the base. There are a couple stalkers and sentries, but these mutas could take just about all these units out. But he decides for some reason to back off, probably because of the dangerousness of the quick warp gate in. But like I said, no photon cannons whatsoever back here. Not even, oh, there is a forge over here, and he did throw some down back here. But this main is completely exposed, so if he could exploit that, he could definitely build up time, because when you have a 12 Mutalisk in your base, you're not going to be roaming around anytime soon, so he could definitely exploit that, build up time, or save time for himself, and in the meanwhile, just pump out a bunch of units. You can see he has been pumping out roaches here. Gonna go to the production tab here, and we are just gonna see Hydralisks now, and a bunch of upgrades going down. How many Evo Chambers does he have? He only has one. It's definitely not uncommon to see 2 Evo Chambers, especially this late in the game, when a Zerg has this nice of an economy, because you can double pump out those upgrades, 1 for armor and 1 for that attack, which is really nice. Because upgrades do take a long time, especially in comparison to Warcraft 3. But these mutas could definitely take out this photon cannon, microing back these mutas very nicely. He is going to lose 1, but does take out that photon cannon. Allows him to take out some of these probes, but a lot of phoenixes incoming. And he's going to have to be careful, because phoenixes are, in fact, faster than mutas and doing something very smart, splitting up his army so he only loses the minimal amount. But he's going to lose so many, because these phoenixes are so fast, taking down, that's about the 3rd muta, I think. And wow, there goes down another, and here comes the Hydras. Don't take down any of these phoenixes, but we're going to see a big battle going on here. He has a nice spread on his army. He's going to have to focus fire down these colossi, because these are what are going to do the most damage, bringing in his overlords to take a little bit of the fire. And we have a lot of hydras and roaches for HayPro here, and pushing him back. Wants to stay on the creep, but some nice force fields trapping these roaches, and it looks like NightEnd's just going to stay on the edge of this creep. Does know that Zerg is very mobile on the creep, but off not so much. So he definitely wants to lure HayPro out of here, but the more he delays, the more HayPro will be able to macro up. He's almost at 200, but we can see that a ton of that, almost 70, is from harvesters, is from drones. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. NightEnd could try to nerf a little bit and pick off some units, which is always annoying when you're Zerg. But like I said, this creep just makes Zerg so fast, especially these Hydralisks, which are so slow off of it. And he could even try to exploit this high ground with the Colossi, but these Overlords and this Mutalisk will be able to spot that. And he does have the spine upgrade for the Hydralisk, so he does have that extended range, and throwing down a 4th base for his 3rd expansion. So really exploiting the Zerg's race as being able to expand and just take up map control. He's exploiting that very well. Well, NightEnd just put up his 2nd expansion and is just pumping out now Immortals, and threw down a Chrono boost on the Stargate, but didn't have anything coming out of there, so that's kind of weird. Is still getting upgrades from the Forge, so that's definitely good. It's some players forget about that late game, but it's really important to keep upgrading all the way through the game. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Oh, and that position on these Colossi are able to pick off about 4 units, 3 Hydras and 1 Roach. A little bit careless. HayPro has to watch out for stuff like that, because Protoss will definitely take every advantage they can get. Oh, and these spine crawlers look like they are going to be picked off, but they do allow HayPro to see everything that NightEnd does have at the moment. So it looks like it's going to be a huge battle here. He is splitting up his army very nicely. Will take away that Colossi. Oh my gosh, AoE, and it looks like all these middle units are going to be taken down. Nice spread, and these force fields used so well, taking out all these units right here, and focus firing down all these Colossi, but these Colossi doing